All right, good morning out there, sports world. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. Um, kind of not so happy about the NBA playoff action I saw last night, and it happened in more than one location. Being that there were only two games yesterday, I got an issue with what took place with both games. But before I get into that, just want to make a few comments about what's going on with the NFL. You know that Shedeur Sanders, he got prank called by somebody in the Atlanta Falcons camp. It was revealed that it was the son of defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. Well, it's kind of strange that he would get pranked in the first place, but for the idea that his contact information got out there in the first place is a reason for speculation. It's already been speculated amongst many that the reason he didn't get drafted is because there's been a collusion against him. And then when you add to the fact that there was a leak on his phone number, it adds more fuel to that fire. But one thing that can kind of douse that a little bit is that there were a couple other players who had their had prank calls, and it don't make the league look too good. So what they're trying to do is fight back against that, and they have fined the Falcons organization $250,000 for allowing that information to get out. And then they fined Ulbrich, who is the father of the kid who did the prank call, an additional $100,000. Now, I don't know what the league is going to do with that money, or it's really just a slap on the wrist, but it's trying to send some kind of message that we're trying to maintain some kind of credibility in the process, and we cannot have this kind of thing happening in the future. But the question is, what happens when somebody's from Shedeur's camp run into this Ulbrich son? Is he worthy of being hit in the mouth? I think so. And I think being that running into a guy like Shiloh, he's got a reputation for being a hothead. He might just be the one to hit him in the mouth. But I don't think they're going to run across each other anytime soon, especially with Shiloh trying to make the Buccaneers squad. But if he didn't make the squad and he ran into him afterwards, I guarantee you it's going to be something behind that. But I still think it's low class by the kid to make that phone call in the first place. I think the dad had something to do with leaking the number. He probably gave it to him. And then the Falcons, I think, part of a wider network of trying to work against Sanders to hold him down, because there's no reason why a defensive coordinator out of all people should have had Sanders' information in the first place. So take of that what you will. But back to the NBA. The first game, before I even get to the Lakers, Golden State had a 3-1 lead on the Rockets. But Steve Kerr decided last night to basically play a whole bunch of reserves and get some rest for his starters in a closeout game. Now, I understand that you got some players who might be a little beat up and could stand some extra rest, but you got to play extra damn game now. So how are you getting extra rest when you're giving the Rockets an extra chance to advance? If you lose game 6, then you got to come back to Houston for another game. So what do you gain by allowing this team to survive? Now, as you watch the game, it was typical of the starters. They were going to pretty much run away the Warrior reserves, and they were doing that. But all of a sudden, the game turned. Rockets pull out their starters, and the lead dwindled. They got down to within 11 points before it turned again. But it only turned because the reserves, they couldn't make a damn point-blank layup. How is it that you are in the NBA and the goal is right there, and all you got to do is just put the ball in the basket, whether you put it on the backboard or slam it home? They couldn't do that. 3 straight possessions, they were down there to put the ball up in the basket, and they missed. The last time they missed, they threw the guy out of bounds who got the rebound and almost turned into something. And then that allowed Houston to get a succession of free throws that had extended the lead back out to about 18 points. But If they had gotten that rebound, they would have had no need to foul, and they would have never got the technicals that put the Rockets on the line. Kerr was getting ready to put the starters in to come back and try to win the game. But I can't understand when you got an opponent on the mat like that, why not just go ahead and kill him right now? He has given the Rockets life. And those young guys, it don't take much to wake them up. Just like you said the other day when Dylan Brooks woke up Jimmy Butler by talking trash to him, you just gave the Rockets life. It's not like you've been thoroughly outplaying them. It's a problem. So I don't understand why the Warriors did what they did, man. You give a young team like that a chance, you creating problems for yourself. So I need an explanation from somebody who can tell me what is the logic of not trying to win that game last night and just letting it go by the wayside, especially when you've experienced losing 3-1 at a higher level before. If you lost it in the finals 3-1, what makes you think you can't lose it in the first round of 3-1 lead? JC, how you doing, man? Um, the greatest commandments. Nick Fine, how many times did you say me? How you doing? Yes. Um, but yeah, I got questions about what they're trying to do. The only thing I can think of, maybe the league, being that you don't have very many first round games left, everybody's sitting around waiting to play the second round. Maybe the league told them to coast or something. I don't know. But it's kind of fishy to me in the league where you're supposed to be trying to win at all costs that you would just throw a game away like that. It doesn't make sense to me. Now, the Lakers last night, they got all kind of problems in LA. And all these people, when they made that Doncic trade, it swore up and down that the Lakers were going to the finals. I never saw that. And as proof, I said it a whole bunch of times leading up to this point that I didn't see that from the Lakers. They thought they were just going to walk through Minnesota because they got the Lakers on their chest and LeBron and his new guy Doncic. I didn't see them beating them young guys from Minnesota, especially if Minnesota can get hot and hit them 3-pointers like they did. They didn't do a whole lot of damage last night from the deep range, but they didn't have to, mainly because the Lakers decided to go small. And when they went small, they made a couple of mistakes. Generally, when you go small in basketball, it's because you want to get a smaller lineup out there to outrun the bigger team that you just don't match up against. And what you want to do is force the other team to go small as well or change the lineup in some kind of way that makes it easier for you to match up. Well, the Lakers went small, but they didn't go fast. So I don't understand that. And then Gobert, who usually have trouble getting rebounds and everything else, he just got turned loose against the smaller players, and he had a field day. And it didn't take long for him to start having a field day. But the Lakers, they didn't adjust. They continued to try to go small. And they got the other young guy on there, Jackson. I can't remember his last name, but he had said before the game he wasn't going to play the man. Well, if you're going to go small and you're not going to speed the game up, and you're just going to allow the other team to just beat you up down low, what is the point of what's going on with the Lakers? So all the Laker fans everywhere have to eat humble pie because now you just got ousted 4-1, and questions are surrounding your head coach. That's 2 straight games he's done make questionable decisions. In game 3, he decided to play Doncic, Reeves, and James the whole second half. Well, that's fine if all these guys are young, and James is 40 now. He's gonna have trouble trying to keep up with young guns like Anthony Edwards for 24 straight minutes without a break. And it ended up costing them because they ended up making mistakes down the stretch that cost them that game. And he's been criticized for it, and he couldn't. You could tell that he can't handle the criticism. They had a press conference before the game yesterday, and the reporter went to start asking him about something along those lines, and he cracked up and he said, "Well, you must be talking about my experience level," and then he gets up and walk out. And I mean, that was an unclassy move by Reddick, and it shows that he can't handle the pressure. Then he goes out and pulls this small move that backfired on him. Then to make matters worse, LeBron James made reference to Anthony Davis in his post-game conference. Or why are you talking about Davis now? He's gone. And if Davis was there to match up as a center, what difference would it have made? And you still were going to lose because you didn't have the roster to compete. That's why you got rid of him in the first place. Now, as a whole, I think the Lakers are better off with the Doncic guy. But what they need to do is look at the rest of the roster. And the rest of the roster, they're not built to me to win a championship. So the question is, what will the Lakers do next? James is a very important piece, but the man is 40 years old. How much longer do we expect for him to play? He may not come back. And if he does, he's probably going to be somewhere else. I see James going to do like what he did with Miami, go to another team, maybe get a run, maybe take a 1 or 2 year run at another championship and then call it a career. And if he does come back to the Lakers, they're going to have to build around him and Doncic. So a lot of decisions have to be made in LA. But the question is, and I'm starting to think it's an obvious one, will Redick return next year as the head coach? They criticized the hell out of Darvin Ham last year, and he didn't do some of the things that you see Redick doing. And it leads to the question, do you think Redick is going to return? So far, I got 11, a few votes on that. And most of you are saying that he's not going to return as the head coach. And I'm starting to worry about it. All right, let's see some of the comments we got here. Appreciate you guys chiming in with me. I'm doing all right, yes. Walking Love, Thunderwolves, WCF, Tamika Shepard, retracted a message. Ninja, 80 was inconsistent, but with him, Lakers would have won versus the Wolves. They might have won 1 or 2 games. Well, I give them one more game. But the way Minnesota running up and down that floor and hitting those threes, it can be hard to beat. Now, Randall, he come out of the gate last night, but he didn't finish strong. And I'm thinking Randall is tired, and it is to their advantage to have gotten this series over with so he can come back strong for the next round. All right, looks like the Lakers gave up. LeBron had 0 points in the fourth quarter last night. Well, that's the thing about these basketball players. They got no real heart. I mean, they got like classic front runners to me. They tough when they scoring 30 points and they pounding their chest and they got the swag. But when they're not hitting any shots and they start to lose, then they quit. That's the point I was trying to make about Ja Morant. You know, he flying through the air like Superman and he lands straight on his chest. And then he comes up with a hip contusion. How the hell you land on your chest, but your hip is hurt? Now, it looked like to me initially that he had hit his face on the floor. If that's the case, he might have broke his jaw. That's what I thought happened to him. But it's the reaction that got me. You know, he's rolling all on the floor. Oh, the world is ending. And I'm dying. Get the hell out of here, man. Get your ass up and go get shot up in the locker room like Brunson did with that ankle. Come back out and finish the game. You had a 27-point lead. If you come back out, you give your team some adrenaline, and you win that game, and it's maybe a different series. You still weren't going to beat OKC, but when you go out, you didn't have a chance. But all that extra rolling around and being dramatic, man, get up, man. You got time for all that. That's the difference between a football player and a basketball player. And the game is on the line. I've seen plenty of times where the officials will put a guy on the line after he missed a shot to win the game or tied or whatever, and he get a second chance at the free throw line. Well, if it's 4th down and 1 on the goal line, referee cannot save either one of us. Either you're going to stuff me or I'm getting into the end zone. And that is the difference between a football player and a basketball player. Overall, basketball players, they play basketball because they're not tough enough to play football. Even big bad guy Draymond Green tried to play at Michigan State. He didn't do nothing because now the bully, he's just the other guy's big, just as big or bigger than he is. So he can't do what he do on the basketball court. So it's just those guys are soft, man, and they make the biggest money, and they're the worst out of all the attitudes. They got the worst attitudes out of all of them. So that just is just on and on and on it goes with that. All right, to me it looks like Lakers. Yeah, they did give up. Dragos, Marinesco. I just told you about the Lakers. I think the Lakers are going to blow that team up. if LeBron comes back, they're going to go and get some players to surround him. I think with Doncic, he's more of a outside shooter. You go to the hole sometime, but not a whole lot. James, you have to you can use him in a lot of ways. I will go get me a dead eye shooter and a versatile player, a versatile wing guy to go with those two, and you can compete much better than what you have right now. But you always got to have a couple of bigs on the bench so you don't get into a situation like you got last night. But you also have to make better decisions as a coach. Once you saw in the first quarter that you couldn't match up to Gobert, then you should have came up with a different track, and that's going to cost him his job. Jerry Stackhouse. No damn Jerry Stackhouse. Oklahoma City is here. Well, Mr. Wright, you better get ready. I don't know where you get the second round. I think you get, is it the Clippers? Clippers or Nuggets. That's going to be a tough one for you. I still think Golden State, if they can hit those threes, they're going to be hard to beat. And if Curry's going off and you can get 15 to 20 points out of Butler, then it's really going to be hard to beat him. But like I said before, if Butler, like when he first got there, only scoring 9, 10 points and expecting Curry to score 35, 40 a game, that wasn't going to work. But if you got Butler scoring over 20 and you can get Curry around 30, Golden State's going to be hard to beat, man. And I don't care if it's Oklahoma City, the Celtics, or anybody. They're going to be hard to beat. But you got a little extra time, and like I said, I don't understand why Golden State didn't go for the jugular last night. They allowed Houston to basically win a game, and Houston tried to give it away. So it leads me to believe, yeah, they know they can beat Houston, but you still got to go out there and beat Houston. So you got to get rid of them as soon as possible. Walking Love said Thunder probably going to win it all if they stay healthy. Yeah, I think OKC is the way they're playing. A great series right now I see would be OKC and Cleveland. But I don't think Cleveland can get by Boston. I think Boston going to get them in 7 games. And depending on how the Thunder do in this next round, that might just be the toughest round they're going to get in the NBA playoffs, in the Western Conference playoffs, because I think the Nuggets with Jokic is a problem. And he doesn't look too spectacular what he's doing. And if you get Jamal Murray to finally show up and score 40 like he did the other night, then they're going to be hard to beat. But I'm going to see if Murray comes back tonight and scores 1 or 2 points in the first half like he's been doing a lot the second half of the season. And you can't depend on that. And the same thing with the Rockets. Jalen Green, he's supposed to be one of the top scorer for the Rockets, and he's been barely having trouble getting to 10 points lately. Yeah, he had that one game with 38, but shit, you can't depend on that. I mean, I need consistency. And that's what these guys are making these super dollars for, to be consistent. And when it's time to play in the playoffs, I need you to be around your season average. But if you're a Superman in the regular season and kryptonite is killing you in the playoffs, then we need to look in another direction, because just like James Harden, I need you to come through when it's time to come through. And that's another somebody they need to take a look at. It's about time for him to sit down. Anybody can score 25, 30 points in the regular season, but when they need you to win the game, you need to be there. And he wasn't there the other night. Is he going to show up tonight? That's the question. All right. At Walk in Love, Real Talk. Okay, like Frederick Wright, Walk in Love, Real Talk. Let me take a screenshot. All right. So I'm going to check you out, Frederick Wright. All right. JC, I'm not sleeping on OKC. They've been playing great all season, and possibly the MVP. Yeah, he's going to get the MVP this year. They've given it to Jokic a couple times. We know Jokic is a great player, but the same guy can't keep winning the award all the time. Even Michael Jordan didn't win all the awards. Somebody else, he's not the only great player in the league. And I think last year it could have went either way. And this year the guy hasn't missed a beat. And I think that not only he's going to win the MVP, he's going to have to justify that in the playoffs. Now, if he goes to the playoffs and he somehow lays an egg when it counts the most, then when it comes up next year, that's going to work against him. But I think this year he's done enough work to win the MVP. So it'll be see how that plays out. And I don't understand why the NBA drags it out so long. So I don't know. Lakers 5 on not one lie told. Andrew Trevino, appreciate it, man. How you doing? Walking Love, Clippers or Nuggets are gonna be too tired. No, maybe game one, but after they get by game one, they'll be okay. Right, plus they all young and healthy. Stizzy Hitter says, I'm going to be a dad. Well, congratulations. I'm doing good, boss. How about you? I'm all right, man. I got to go to work in a few minutes, so I come on and do my little spiel. But I can't believe that Golden State would allow Houston the chance to get new life. They're going to come with all the guns on the next game, and if they win, it's one to take all. And I don't know if the NBA told them to do that, and I can't understand why they would at this point. But if I got Houston down, especially when I saw those guys coming back last night, I would have pulled all of them out, put my starters back in, and came back and win that game. It only take but Curry to hit with 2 or 3 3-pointers, and you got a brand new game. I would have got rid of them right then, and that would have been the end of that. Now I think they would get Minnesota next. So if you're resting your players in this game for the sake of getting rest, you're going to have to play an extra game because you would have had to play Minnesota next. But I still don't see how it adds up that you got rest by sitting your players out. You know, you probably wouldn't have had to play for another 4 or 5 days, and now you got to play an extra game, and that might lead to another game. And then you're really going to be beat up if you have to play 7 games and have to go to play Minnesota. So what do they really gain here? I don't understand. But that's what they get paid the big bucks for. And the other thing is Redick. I don't think he's long in L.A. after the last 2 games. It just didn't have a good look for him. And Lakers fans are going crazy. The management is going crazy. The great players are going crazy. All that means that Redick, he's on his way out the door, man. I don't know. But anyway, I got to get up out of here, man. I got to go to work. Appreciate you guys chiming in with me. If there's no breaking news, I'll catch you guys in the morning. But last couple of days, well, I didn't go yesterday. But if there's time, sometime around 5 o'clock, I'll come on and we'll do a recap. And we should have a little bit more news about what's going on in LA land. Like I say, I don't think Redick's long. And if he makes it through the week, that'll be a miracle. But I think it's going to be a change immediately with the Lakers. So anyway, that's my cue, man. Let's see what Walking Love had to say on the way out. Denver will have 1 or 2 days of rest. Yeah, but that's not necessarily a disadvantage because if you sit around too long, it hurts you. Go back to college football when Oregon sat around for a whole month while Ohio State was playing. And when they came back out, they looked just like they looked the first couple games of the season when they couldn't move the ball. By the time they got that rust off, hell, they were down 30 points. You might well just let the rust stay on you then because, you know, if you're going to lose, let the team beat you up real bad. I hate to lose a close game knowing that I could have played better earlier in the game just to lose late. No, I don't want to go out like that. If you're going to beat me, blow me out. At least I know then that I didn't have a chance. I don't want to lose any close games, man. But again, you guys have a great day. Appreciate you chiming in with me. And I catch you guys on the bound. And last check of this poll, most of you are saying that Redick will not return as the coach. I agree, man. He's out of his element. And if you're going to do that, you got to take the arrows that shoot at you. And you can't fall apart in those press conferences, man, like you did yesterday. And that's not good. JC and the rest of you guys have a great day, man. Got to go to work. Big day today. So I'm out. Later. Do